Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I have another special video for you. We're going to be interviewing one of my newer clients to my mentorship program. Due to the sensitive nature of the coaching that I do with my clients, protecting their identity and anonymity is of paramount importance to me. My client, let's call him Chris, has requested that his identity be protected, hence why his face is blurred throughout the video. Let's get into it. First question, can you give a brief overview of your background, who you are, and how long you struggled with porn before getting into the program?
So, 34 years old. I'm a working professional. Porn has been a habit in my life since I was, basically 12 when I first discovered it. And it was around when I was 25 when I realized it was a problem and I needed to do something about it. But, it's been just years and years since then and nothing has worked. Just the availability of the internet everywhere I go on my phone, on my computer has always just made it impossible to get rid of, and just the effects have been lingering and forever and ever. And yeah, so it's been a long time thing.
Can you describe a little bit about what your life was like before joining the program?
Like I said, when I was 25 is when I first noticed it was a problem, and that was because of porn induced ED in the moment with a real woman. And I was like, okay, this is a problem. And just that lack of ability to really give myself to full intimacy. Basically, I just completely wasted 9 years of my life. A lot of self hate, a lot of self criticism, a lot of self loathing. I would always try to stop it. I would try to resist, or I would try to put some basic blockers or something, but I would always get stuck in a cycle of like 3 or 4 days. I could do it, and then I'd relapse. 3 or 4 days, then I'd relapse, and it's just been like that for basically the whole time. And just all the potential I had to, form a great relationship with friends and with women and maybe even start a family. That's basically, it's all been thrown out the window, completely wasted. Um, yeah. And it's all the regret and self-hate that comes with that.
Yeah, so here, like, lost time maybe is one of your biggest consequences, the biggest pain points.
That's a great way to put it. Lost time is probably the thing I regret and hate the most about the habit before. Yeah. And right now. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What tactics did you use to try to quit on your own?
On my own, I tried a couple things to quit. Willpower, of course, which never ever worked. I did try some blocking software on my computer and my phone, but I would always find ways around it. Ultimately, the addiction was so bad that I was always try and find ways around it, find ways to get through it, and I would usually succeed. Or, I would be in a situation where, the internet's everywhere these days. So even if I'm out and about, there could be opportunities. I even tried accountability partners at one point, but the particular accountability partner I had at the time was not very dedicated. So I kind of lost a lot of faith in that too.
As we all know, willpower is not is not a program of recovery,
It
unfortunately. If
it did
only it
not
was that
work.
easy.
Yeah, it did not work. When I made that, yeah, if it's a real addiction, yeah, it doesn't work.
So, how long have you now been inside of the program? And I guess the answer to that would be about 2.5 months.
2.5. I think mid January we started, so mid April would be 3 months. Yeah.
And how did things start to change once you joined the program? What were some of your early challenges and what helped you overcome them?
When I first joined the program, I was initially skeptical about some of the philosophies that Nate was teaching to us, in particular, like that the cure to addiction is connection with other people, or that the 12-step philosophy would actually be beneficial, that willpower isn't the answer. I mean, a lot of my previous philosophies had to be I had to really work my way out of them. But the lessons that Nate that you gave, just the value you had to give during the calls from this long journey that you've been on yourself, it was eventually it did change the way I thought about the whole thing. The 12-step meetings turned out to be a really, really great way for me to I think you described them as like a tuning fork at one point, where you attend them and then your mind is just in the right place. You're in a group with real people going through the same things as you. that so far has turned out to be really, really helpful in ways that obviously nothing else I've tried in the past 9, 10 years have.
After joining the program, were there any big insights you had that helped you? Like, did you have any aha type moments or any big shifts in how you approach this problem?
I think one of the biggest ones for me was, I always thought this is just a problem I have to tackle on my own. But at some point, I had a shift where the mindset now is like, I can't do this on my own. It's just a problem in my life that I'm not going to be able to fix on my own. I'm going to need support from other people and other sources and other external things, and that there's nothing wrong with that. I don't, when I do projects at work, they're never one man jobs. When something's going wrong in my apartment or whatever, I don't try to fix it myself. I call someone to come fix it. Like, there's plenty of things I do in my life that I rely on external forces to help fix, because it's just, I admit I can't do it on my own, and that's fine. So there's no reason that this can't be one such thing. And it's just given me a lot of mental relief. It's helped me rationally and, neutrally be able to plan out my life and set up systems and routines that will keep me sober, without like being full of self-hate and self-loathing over it. There's a lot more acceptance now, and it's just made everything easier.
Yeah, that's amazing. The heart of the 12-step program is this idea, right? That the solution to our addiction lies in a connection to a higher power.
Mhm.
And for a lot of people, when they first approach that idea, they reject it because they don't understand what's trying to be communicated ultimately, or they're coming into that statement with a lot of prejudice from like a religious upbringing or something like that. But I
Mhm.
think the examples that you gave were perfect in seeing that when your house is on fire, you call the fire department,
Mhm.
because the fire department is the one with the power to put out the fire. And you can turn on your sink, you can try to like fill up all the buckets with water, but it's like you don't have the water in your house. It's just the power's not there. You can't put out the fire, so you call what does. It's just
Yep.
that simple.
Like you said, it's the higher power is just whatever. I mean, I have no issue with the religious background for that term, but I
Mhm.
think what in my mind the higher power is just whatever external means you need to prevent yourself from acting out again. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean the SA meetings are a big part of that. That's kind of the connection. The I will say too, the outer, middle, inner circle analysis was really, really valuable. One of the most valuable things I think in the program for me, because I guess I had never really internalized before that an outer circle activity, something that will keep me away from the habit, is socializing with people, being away from my computer, even just going outside, um, stuff like that. And I would never have like known that, oh, these are like solutions to the problem if I hadn't done that analysis beforehand.
I guess most importantly, like how long have you been sober from porn now?
It's been almost a month now since I've been sober from porn. I did have, I think, 2 or 3 relapses in the middle of the program, and they sucked, and I regret them. But ultimately, I got some really good advice from you and Ricky about it, and I was able to move on from them. It's still early. I still have a long time to go. Still get urges here and there. I still rely on the training wheels of the blockers sometimes, but I mean, it's more than I've been able to accomplish in the last decade. So, I mean, I've gotten the value back for sure.
Outside of just being sober from porn, how have things improved since getting into the program?
Since I have been sober, for the time I've been sober, I've noticed a lot less self hate, self loathing, that kind of thing. Like I said, I've been able to look more rationally at my situation and what I need to do to stay sober, just looking at it from a bird's eye view. And that's helped take the emotion out of it. So there's a lot less of that negativity surrounding it and any urges I have than there used to be, which is just good for, my mental health and stability all around. I've looked at social situations and socializing in a more positive light when I look at them as also just, fun occasions to do things with friends, but also as a outer circle activity to keep me away from this habit that's been destroying my life. I mean, that just adds another layer of benefit and positivity onto these activities as well. I've also noticed a lot more eagerness to go out to socialize. I'm getting back on dating apps and things like that. Whereas when I'm in the habit, I'm happy just being alone in my apartment, never going outside, never socializing, just wasting my life away. So I have found a lot more just self motivation to, go out and pursue things than I did before for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. What would you tell somebody in terms of what it's been like to be in orbital recovery? Like, what's it been like working with me and Ricky? What have you enjoyed about the program? What are your kind of like favorite things about it that you might recommend, or just kind of noteworthy things for somebody thinking about taking the program?
So working in orbital recovery, I mean, I've stayed sober from porn longer than I have any time in the past freaking decade. So I mean that the results speak for themselves there. But just a lot of the mindset shifts that I've had because of all your experience with 12-step programs and everything else. I mean, that's all been really, really valuable. And like I said, it's helped me shift my mindset away from self-hate, self-loathing, willpower. A lot of that stress has kind of melted away. I've just, come to accept what needs to be done and I do it. And, that's that. So it's much easier.
If you're struggling to quit porn and you are serious about not losing any more years of your life to this addiction, go down to the description below and book a call with me. I would love to have you join the ranks of my clients like Chris here, who I've helped find freedom from pornography they never thought would be possible. Quitting this addiction is possible, and I would love to help you get there. I hope you got some value out of this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.